This is the 2025 Subaru WRX TS. It's somewhere between the TR and the GT, and there's no more STI, and it's a little bit confusing, but the good news is dads will love this. Wearing a flat-brimmed hat because I felt like that's very Subaru to do. You know, this is for the dad who used to rally race across dirt, maybe used to find himself driving across frozen ponds in New Hampshire, and now he's got a kid and he's wondering, what can I drive? I can't drive a bright blue all-wheel drive giant wing in the back bug-eyed Subaru of the past. No, and that's true, Dad, you can't, but you can drive the 2025 Subaru WRX TS because it combines everything you want with a little bit of hashtag adulting. For instance, you can actually adjust your dampers now to make the ride a little more comfortable. For me, it's defaulting to sport, but I just push some buttons here, mode into comfort. The ride's a little softer, the steering's a little lighter, the throttle acceptance is a little bit slower, everything's a little more calm and collected. I like that. Yeah, sure, you still have the blue suede bucket seats, maybe Elvis has his blue suede shoes. You've got the WRX TS logo in case you forget which trim that you actually bought. Now, maybe you're a dad on a budget, you're a new dad and you got diapers to buy and all that, that's fine. Subaru gives you a couple different options. You can go with the base model, which is not too shabby. It's got the same engine. It's got the same 2.4 liter turbo flat 4. You're still getting 271 horsepower. You're still getting all-wheel drive. Really a value proposition for around 30 grand. And, you know, old stingy dad here, I feel like all cars should cost about 30 grand, but that's not the case anymore. Cars are friggin' expensive. It's like a college education. And then there's a couple of trims to go up, and then you have the ultimate here. Basically the STI, because STI, don't think anyone really knows, except maybe some Subaru execs, if that vehicle is ever gonna be coming back, that trim. So for now, we're living with this, the WRX TS. You can get it in an automatic, but I'll ask you the same question I asked my kid when they threw their toy down and broke it. Why? 6-speed manual, the clutch is light, shifts right off the top. Great sound. It has just enough of that like turbo whoosh and boosh that you maybe used to love when you were 22, wearing hoodies and staying up late smoking with your friends. But, oh, the grip on this all-wheel drive, going down the little gravel road here. And this is comfort mode too. This isn't even the Sport or Sport Plus. Oh man, this is so much fun. That's something I'll say about this for sure. This is an absolute blast to drive. Love the understatedness of this car. As it has grown into adulthood, as your STI with the big wing and bright colors has matured a little bit, you come across this, and I love this. This as a daily driver, totally practical. I've got a car seat in the back. I have an 11-year-old who I take to school as well. There's plenty of room there. The seats are comfortable enough for someone like myself. I will say the suspension, obviously, in a car like this, a little stiff. So if you've got kids or a partner who is prone to car sickness, you know, something to be aware of. And this engine, I know it's 2.4 liters, but come on, it's like you can wring this thing out. It shifts all the way up. At about 6, it starts to redline. Still going, still has room. I'm about to bump into the car in front of me. That's third gear. So much bandwidth to it. Unlike being a dad where I feel like my bandwidth is pretty short toward the end of the day. One of the things you'll notice when you open the door is how big the door is. It's a long door. Dads appreciate that because, you know, sometimes we have a big breakfast and getting in is a little bit tough, but seriously, I appreciate having a big door. It makes things much easier when you're getting into the vehicle. These race seats that are hugging you, nice and comfortable, despite the fact that they are high bolstered, you know, high high-sided. This is one of those vehicles that, you know, from the outside, you just see it as another car at drop-off or pickup. However, a guy driving a Golf R the other day, going the other way, flashed his lights and waved. He doesn't know me, but he does know that I'm driving a dope-ass car. So on the inside, once you get in, you sit in these seats, working my way around. The door itself has some nice mixed material here. I got the carbon fiber elements, this blue leather. There's also like a little bit of this soft black leather up here. Decent cup holder in the side, nice little bit of storage, just a little like a store slot, a little bigger than a file folder basically. Then come around, and I like the integration of the Alcantara. Not on the roof, where you see it a lot, but on the dash, where I don't think I see it there very often. Cross-stitched blue is nice, and you come across the gauge cluster. I really like what they've done with the gauge cluster here because, you know, it's not an STI, but you still get the STI dial for the tach. I think that's really cool. And then there's like mountains in the distance, as if to say, this is the type of vehicle you would drive through the mountains in the distance. And you can change up your view a little bit. You can actually go to a full map, which is really handy. And with the Apple Maps integration, or Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, it'll actually display what your maps would display in the car. The steering wheel is really neat. I like the carbon fiber kind of design on the base here. Plenty of controls, from volume to the cruise control, which will actually steer for you. You do have to keep your hands near the wheel, because after a little bit it'll say, hey, you know, you got to be paying attention. There's a little red light kind of thing right under here on the top of the dash, and it's looking at me to make sure I'm looking. A couple times I was looking for a good place to shoot photos. I was kind of looking over here, and then it was like, beep, 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 keep your eyes on the road. I was like, that's good. It's good advice for my kids in the back too, so they know. Coming to the center infotainment screen, it's a nice big vertical, easy to see screen. I'm not really sure Subaru's ever really done that awesomely. I feel like they just need to hire a UX person from Apple or something just to really kind of get this into the vibe with the rest of the car. But it's definitely the best one yet from them, I'll say that. A couple of nice hard touch buttons here for adjusting climate, temperature, but not fan speed, so that's all digital. If that screen goes, I don't really know how you would control your fan speed. That's one of those things that they have redundancies all over this vehicle. They have all-wheel drive, they have all these like capabilities, and then yet you still have to rely on the screen, so that's something that's kind of interesting. Fantastic sound system though, and I would venture to say that because this is such a new model for 2025, it has not played as much Wicked, Sarah Bareilles, and Taylor Swift as it has over the past week, with me driving my daughter around to her various rehearsals and practices and school and all that kind of stuff. But I will say, when she's gone and I can listen to some of my music, the Harman Kardon system sounds fantastic. Very clear, nice little bass element to it. But again, it's grown up. It's not just some, like, you know, 8-inch subs in the trunk. Something all dads can appreciate, especially if you are a tall dad, is how much headroom is in here. I'm 6'1", very comfortable in the seat, and I've got that much. I'm 6'9". That's probably, you could be 7 foot. You'd be a 7-footer and still be in here. I think this cutaway is assumedly for wearing a helmet, because you'd be taking this maybe on a track or, you know, drifting it around some dirt or something like that. But that is a substantial amount of extra room there. So I love that. It dads, and there's great little elements that Subaru has put into this, such as one-touch up and down windows all around. Thank you very much. Dual climate zone up here. Cup holders in the back, USB ports in the back. Obviously those are up here as well. In terms of storage, it's okay. It's, you know, it's no Expedition, but it doesn't drive like one either. You've got a nice little cubby up front, which looks like it could be a wireless charger, but it's not, at least in this trim. Maybe that's an option. You have a little tiny area here that you can put stuff. Cup holders to fit things like coffee or cortados. Don't judge me for that. This has the eyesight on the vehicle as well, which is basically their lane keeping assist and radar-based cruise control and all that. But again, I just love how much fun this car is, and yet you can leave it parked and not worry that someone's going to be like, oh yeah, that's like that, You know, like I'm gonna take that car. And backseat living for your kids, not bad. You've got cup holders in the middle armrest that comes down, cup holders in the door. There isn't a rear climate zone. It might be something you can option. I'm not exactly sure, but that's not on this trim. But you do have USB ports back there, and you can just blast your air from up here, I guess. Another reason to have a car like this is to teach your kids how to drive a stick shift. I don't think there's enough parents teaching that. I don't think enough parents know that. That's my soapbox. You gotta know how to drive a manual, because you know what's gonna happen inevitably? The end of the world. How are you gonna get away when you look around and you're like, there's only manuals. All the automatic cars are gone. I guess I'm gonna walk? No, you're gonna drive because your dad taught you how to drive a manual. And there's your use case.